Today we are going to learn about screwed connections. The principal requirement for correct functioning of screwed connections is that threads must be free from bending and shear stresses. Figure 1 is an example of a bad design of threaded connection. The transverse load which is acting on this part of the fastener is not desirable. Bolts are not designed to carry excessive shear loads. Ideally, these loads should be carried by other shear load carrying members. Furthermore, in figure 1 you will notice that the threads of the bolt act as a very strong stress concentrator, increasing the possibility of failure drastically. Now we are going to understand different scenarios of threaded fastener design and understand the pros and cons of each one. The first case, case 1, is obviously unsatisfactory. The external force P causes an internal bending moment which is maximum at the weakened threaded portion of the fastener. Also, here too, the threads act as a strong stress concentrator. Provision of a shoulder in the tightening area in this version does not help much since the shoulder thrust face is nearly parallel to the direction of bending displacement and the deformation is restricted only by the friction forces arising at the thrust face while tightening. In more correct designs 3 and 4, the rod has a cylindrical or tapered section which fits closely in the housing hole and efficiently impedes the transverse rod displacement. Since it is rather difficult to assure strict alignment of the threaded and plain sections, the screwed end must have sufficient clearance. The best designs are designs 5 and 6. They have a cylindrical or tapered section fitting in the housing. In this case, the internal threading is provided by the nut and instead of the housing, and so the threads are completely relieved from bending and take up only the tightening tension. One important tip while using the threaded connections is to always use washers. This is because bolt holes may have burrs or sharp edges after drilling, and these could bite into the fillet and increase stress concentration. Apart from this, washers distribute the tightening force uniformly over a larger surface area and protect parts from galvanic corrosion which occurs between aluminium and steel.